Nicholas Macharia, was yesterday sentenced to death by a High Court judge in Nyeri after pleading guilty for sexually assaulting and murdering a 7-year-old girl, Tamara Blessing Kabura. In a chilling judgment delivered yesterday on Thursday, Justice Kizito pronounced that Macharia's admission to pleading guilty for the offense could not lessen the gravity of the offense, although it was a good thing to save judicial time on the case hearing of this matter, but does not shorten the sentence to be imposed.
Assisting, she had injuries in the mouth, aliumia kumdomo na alifunguliwa kwa sehemu zake za siri kwa nguvu. Although you pleaded guilty, that plea of guilty did not by itself remove the severest of the sentences from the table. It's a good thing to save judicial time. But however, the courts also are here to hear cases. So the mere fact that the court was saved of time of hearing does not, by and of itself, shorten the sentences. We are here to hear you, and if you chose to plead guilty, it is useful in smaller cases. But for murder and for defilement, it doesn't help. I've set out the rules that we rely on.
According to the initial context of this case, Justice Kizito declared his sentence to be served as a deterrent measure, whereby Macharia had been charged with murder of a minor girl chilled through defilement, and even buried her body beneath his bed, in a bid to conceal the crime. Earlier in the proceedings, the child's mother, Susan Wanjiru, emotionally rejected an apology presented by this man, who had killed her daughter intentionally only to ask for forgiveness. In her victim impact statement before the High Court in Nyeri, Susan Wanjiru recounted the last events of how her daughter went missing from Nyeri town, whereby a CCTV footage from a nearby car spare parts shop captured Macharia walking with the child towards his home in Wittam slums, whereby Macharia led DCI detectives to his house and discovered the girl's lifeless body buried inside his house beneath his bed. In a probing investigation, a post-mortem was conducted at the County Referral Hospital mortuary, revealing that the child had first of all been defiled before she was being suffocated to death.
I was actually finding more on which guidelines were not applicable, because you fell into most of the guidelines require showing that you need to get a more severe sentence than otherwise. This offense was planned, premeditated, carried out meticulously. The minor was lured by a trusted person to her death. She was violently defiled and buried. Were it not for intervention of a hawk-eyed officer who definitely deserves a promotion, we'll never have known. The offense, you devoured the minor, you ruptured her, leading her to severe hemorrhage after boring copious amount of spermatozoa in the ruptured vagina of the minor. You then proceeded to strangle the minor by smothering her. The minor died of asphyxiation due to suffocation under excruciating pain as described by the convict himself. The pain suffered by the minor cannot be fathomable. It is beyond human understanding. Describing the convict as a beast will be an understatement. The offense was aggravated by unnecessary use of sexual violence. The convict abused a position of trust. He did not exercise any restraint.
During the case hearing, when the culprit Macharia first appeared before Justice Kizito in June 2025, he pleaded guilty for the offense, requesting for forgiveness. However, a mental assessment report from Maranga Level 5 Hospital confirmed his fitness to stand trial before court, whereby the judge ordered Macharia to be remanded in prison custody for 46 days to ensure that he fully understood the legal implications of pleading guilty to a capital offense. When he reappeared again before court in July 2025, Macharia changed his plea to not guilty, setting the stage for a full trial. His lawyer, Mahugu Mbaraya, pleaded to sympathize with court not to impose the death sentence upon his client, arguing that Macharia had no prior capital offense record, and was capable of reform. In a landmark ruling by Justice Kizito, handing down the ultimate penalty, Kizito underscored the brutality of the crime, and the need for the sentence to serve as a warning to criminal offenders, whereby the conviction brought a closure to a case that shocked Nyeri residents, and actually left a family grieving the violent loss of an innocent girl child, who was disappeared and never returned home.
I've then now gone to look at the two sentences that possibly you can give. I've looked at the life sentence, and I saw that, and what it means. I've also seen the other sentence, the death sentence, which is short, and which I will be concerned with most. The Prisons Act provides this way. When any person is sentenced to death, he shall be hanged by the neck until he is dead, and the sentence shall be carried out in a manner as the Commissioner shall direct. Section 204 provides that the sentence for murder is death.
However, the ultimate pronouncement by court, after judgmental case hearing, was a sentence of a straight death penalty, for Macharia to be hanged and suffocated to death. Thank you and keep on subscribing.